Welcome to the Secret History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. The Schienenzeppelin, an experimental German railcar powered by a propeller, reaches 143 miles per hour in a speed test. The scene shows the machine moving along tracks with an aerodynamic design and unusual appearance. Agent Felix Rodriguez stands alongside Bolivian soldiers in a simple mountain room. Che Guevara, surrounded and wounded, is held in custody shortly after his capture. The scene takes place during a military operation in Bolivia's interior. Security guards act swiftly as Ronald Reagan is rushed away after an assassination attempt in Washington, District of Columbia. The intense activity takes place at a hotel entrance, with agents protecting the then President of the United States. A German soldier stands beside a statue of Joseph Stalin in the city of Novgorod during the occupation period in 1941. The image records the military presence on Soviet territory and the contrast between rival forces of the time. Soldier Thomas N. Brown is seen rearming a military weapon during the Battle of Iwo Jima. He works with precision and focus in a combat environment marked by difficult terrain and intense operations. Tsar Nicholas II and his son are seen chopping wood during their imprisonment in 1917. The image shows father and son engaged in simple tasks under watch after the fall of the Russian Empire. Civilians watch as a French woman has her hair shaved in a public square. The act was carried out as punishment for her association with enemy soldiers during the conflict. The surrounding crowd wears serious expressions in a climate of social judgment. In 1895 in Paris, an express train overran the stopping point and traveled more than 100 feet through the boarding hall before crashing out the window at the Gare Montparnasse station. Acrobats balance on top of the Empire State Building in an impressive high-altitude performance. The image shows the group in daring poses, defying wind and gravity. The setting is one of the city's tallest structures. 3 children work sieving sand in a gold mine at Dominion Creek in the Yukon region in 1898. The scene shows child labor during the gold rush when entire families sought their fortunes. A child picks cotton in a field in the United States amid long rows of plants. Wearing simple clothes and a tired expression, the child works under the sun as part of the period's agricultural economy. The setting is rural and quiet. A woman burns large quantities of paper money during the hyperinflation period in Germany in the 1920s. The currency's value fell so much that banknotes became worth less than firewood or coal. A man carries blocks of ice for delivery at a time when homes did not yet have refrigerators. Ice was used in ice boxes to preserve food for longer. During a session at the United States Supreme Court, an image was secretly captured despite the ban on cameras in the chamber. In 1932, photographer Dr. Eric Salomon pretended to have a broken arm and hid a camera inside his cast. Italian explorer Attilio Gatti poses alongside 2 local residents and a captured gorilla during an expedition in the former Belgian Congo region. The scene shows safari clothing, field tools, and dense vegetation in the background. Women, unhappy with the display of luxury, tear off a Dior model's dress in 1947. Pablo Escobar and his cousin Gustavo Gaviria appear dressed as 1930s gangsters during a visit to Las Vegas. Wearing elegant suits and hats, they pose in a style inspired by American cinema. A person sits alone on a bench, hunched over with arms covering their face in a dark, empty space. The worn walls and cracked ceiling indicate the location's precarious condition. An early Ekranoplan prototype is tested over the Caspian Sea waters, moving close to the surface. The experimental craft combines features of both airplane and boat, using ground effect to reach high speed. A rare document shows the original Monty Rushmore design with plans for more complete sculptures of the presidents. The image, created during construction, reveals sketch details that included the presidents' bodies down to their waists. Clerks organize capsules labeled with every day of the year during the United States military draft lottery. Each capsule represents a calendar day and is used to determine the order young people are called based on their birthdays. Pedestrians attentively study the new map of Europe shortly after the end of the First World War. The image shows people gathered in front of a display window, trying to understand the territorial changes. An Egyptian man is seen smoking atop the Great Pyramid of Giza with the desert in the background. The image captures a moment of calm and contemplation at one of the world's oldest monuments. Alfred Hitchcock is seen serving tea to Leo, the MGM Studios' mascot lion. The curious scene was captured during a relaxed backstage moment in 1958. A Victorian woman from the 1870s poses with teacups on her chest. During the Victorian era, poses and photographs were often used to capture unusual moments or expressions. A man tries on the so-called television glasses, a futuristic accessory launched in 1963. The device allowed programs to be watched on a small screen positioned in front of the eyes. Morning tea is served between cars on a train traveling from Peshawar to Lahore. The image captures the tradition of passing tea among passengers, a common practice on trains in the region. The United States Navy's Akron airship slowly departs the Goodyear hangar in Akron, Ohio. The hangar's massive structure contrasts with the impressive size of the airship. Dr. Wernher von Braun poses in front of the Saturn V rocket that would be used on the Apollo 11 mission. He observes the immense structure already assembled at the Kennedy Space Center. As director of NASA in Huntsville, he led the development of the launch vehicle. The Mercedes-Benz W125 recordwagon racing car is displayed in the German pavilion at the World's Fair in Paris. With its aerodynamic design and metallic finish, it attracts attention for its speed and technical innovation. Venice's most famous canals were drained for cleaning in a rare public operation. The image shows the exposed canal bottoms, revealing ancient structures normally submerged. The entire British Concorde fleet in a single image, captured at Heathrow Airport in London on January 21, 1986. Walter Botts, known for having been the model for Uncle Sam, takes part in the opening of the Uncle Sam's Newsroom restaurant in 1970. He was the inspiration for the United States' most famous recruitment poster. Betty Brosmer poses during her modeling career, showcasing her famous 18-inch waist. With an elegant posture and fitted outfit, she stood out for her striking look in the 1950s. Fred Trump and his son Donald appear together at a construction site in New York City. The scene shows the family's direct involvement in the business. This period marked the beginning of Donald's career in the construction industry. A woman works as a lipstick tester, applying different shades to evaluate color and durability. She poses with visible marks on her face from multiple successive tests. This type of work was common in the cosmetics industry. A group of young women known as Teddy Girls pose in Victorian-inspired clothes and a rebellious attitude on the streets of Britain. They were part of a cultural movement that challenged traditional standards of the time. A young woman prepares before becoming a geisha, wearing simple clothing and no makeup. The image shows an intimate moment of the preparation process. A couple kisses in Times Square during VJ Day, marking the end of the war in the Pacific. The scene was captured amid the crowd celebrating in the streets of New York City. The spontaneous gesture symbolized the collective joy of that moment. Marilyn Monroe smiles as she greets a young fan who visits her trailer during the filming of The 7-Year Itch. The scene shows a backstage moment of kindness with the actress in her costume and character makeup. Elvis Presley is seen relaxing in his home at Graceland, surrounded by elegant furniture and personal items. With a laid-back look, he poses in an environment that reflects his taste for comfort and style. President Lyndon Baines Johnson listens to a tape sent by his son-in-law, Captain Chuck Robb, directly from Vietnam. Seated in a private setting, he holds the recorder attentively. The menu at Alcatraz Island Prison's dining hall includes roast meat, vegetables, bread, and dessert. The meal was served to inmates on March 13, 1956 at the famous penitentiary. The opening ceremony of the Olympic Games takes place in Moscow, with thousands of people in the stadium. The image shows athletes, flags, and choreographed performances that marked the start of the event. An uneasy Greta Garbo posing with MGM's Leo the Lion in 1926. The image shows the famous Swedish actress alongside the iconic lion, the symbol of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer studio. The photo offers a panoramic view of New York City, captured from an aerial perspective in 1931. The city, in the midst of transformation, displays its growing skyscrapers, including the Empire State Building, which was under construction at the time. A young woman is sorting pearls in Japan in 1949. The image shows the delicate and meticulous work that was done in specialized facilities. John F. Kennedy is campaigning door-to-door in West Virginia in 1960. The image captures the presidential candidate connecting directly with voters, a crucial strategy during his run for the White House. Luz Long and Jesse Owens talk during the Olympic Games in Berlin. The scene shows a gesture of respect between two athletes in full international competition. Even while representing countries with political tensions, they displayed sportsmanship. Albert Einstein appears teaching in a study room in the United States. With the board full of formulas, he explains concepts that would mark the history of science. The image shows his role as an educator as well as a researcher. Pablo Picasso appears in two self-portraits, one created at 15 years old and another at 90. The first shows a young artist with a classical technique and precise lines. The second, in a free and expressive style, reflects his evolution over a lifetime. The Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library displays its corridors lined with cast-iron shelves and niches. With an imposing structure and elegant architectural details, the location housed thousands of books on multiple levels. Employees and customers appear inside a Wendy's location in its early days in the United States. The setting has simple decor, a visible menu, and counter service. Max Factor uses a metal device known as the Beauty Calibrator to measure a young woman's face. With adjustable rods, the instrument evaluates facial proportions with precision. Lights and decorations adorn the streets of Marion, Indiana, during the Christmas season. Families stroll past illuminated storefronts while shops display trees and holiday figures. The Boeing 707 aircraft takes off for the first time on a test flight under the watchful eyes of engineers and technicians. The plane lifts off powerfully, marking a new chapter in commercial aviation. Betty Page, known as the Queen of Pinups, appears beside her sister Goldie in a relaxed moment. The two pose smiling, wearing 1950s fashion and well-styled hairdos. A high school parking lot is filled with classic cars from the 1970s parked side by side. Students walk among the vehicles, many carrying backpacks and wearing era-typical clothes. Lady Florence Norman rides a motor scooter through London streets on her way to work as an office supervisor. Dressed elegantly and with a confident posture, she represents women's active presence in urban spaces. A woman works gathering hay in the fields of Konya, a mountain village in northern Italy. Wearing simple clothes and holding a rake, she piles up hay under the sun, surrounded by alpine landscapes. President Jimmy Carter and Nigerian leader Olusegun Obasanjo shake hands during an official meeting. The gathering took place in a cooperative atmosphere aimed at strengthening relations between the two countries. Steve McQueen stands beside his wife Neela in a relaxed moment. The couple smiles and walks close together, wearing casual clothes. The image conveys intimacy and lightness outside the professional setting. Street posters in New York City display direct and impactful phrases with large letters and simple wording. The posters cover storefront windows and walls, drawing pedestrians' attention with short, objective messages. The Dalai Lama appears as a baby, seated in traditional Tibetan clothing with a serene expression. The photo was taken shortly after his recognition as a spiritual reincarnation at around 2 years old. Kaiser Wilhelm II, Emperor of Germany, smoking a cigarette in 1913. This image shows the military and political leader in a casual moment, a rarity because he was known for his rigid and authoritarian stance. Ava Gardner at 19 years old, when she was starting her film career. The photo was taken for her studio employee badge, one of the first steps in her rise to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. The flight attendants of India Airlines, wearing elegant 1970s uniforms, wore outfits that reflected the style of the era by combining tradition and modernity. Thomas Edison is working on his phonograph, the device that gave rise to recorded sound, in 1877. The invention of the phonograph was a crucial milestone in the history of technology and music, allowing sound to be recorded and played back for the first time. In 1882, gold miners are wearing Levi's jeans while working in Placer County, California. During the gold rush, Levi's pants became popular among workers because of their durability and strength. In the 1890s, bicycle messengers are sitting in front of their bikes. The image, captured by photographer Charles H. Currier, shows a typical moment from the era when messengers were an essential part of mail delivery. Vicki Dugan is photographed in Los Angeles in 1957, showcasing her iconic style of the era. Known as the backside, the cover girl, she became famous for her alluring and striking photos that captured Hollywood fashion and sensuality in the 1950s. Elton John poses at home beside his collection of colorful and extravagant shoes. The image shows his unique style and striking personality off stage. Known for his bold taste, he used fashion as a form of self-expression. A rural family gathers for dinner in Claiborne County, Tennessee. Seated around the table, they share a simple meal made from food produced on their own farm. Workers at a Rolleiflex camera factory work on an assembly line in Germany. They handle delicate parts with precision, assembling one of the most respected cameras of the era. Children perform at a kindergarten in the Soviet Union, dressed in colorful clothes and costumes. The performance takes place in a decorated room with family members and teachers watching. A woman examines the Sony TV 8301 model, one of the first portable televisions produced in Japan. The compact and innovative device for its time symbolizes the advancement of home technology. Players participate in a chess tournament in Moscow, focused in silence over the boards. The competition drew top-level participants and a large audience watching the games. Joe and Jill Biden appear together in an image taken shortly after their wedding. Wearing formal attire and smiling, the couple poses in a relaxed and affectionate manner. The photo conveys a moment of unity at the start of their married life. Narrow streets lit by neon signs form the setting of Palma's nightlife district, photographed by Krister Strömholm. The image shows understated storefronts with residents and visitors walking under dim light. Children play on a cobblestone street in Manchester with lined houses and simple clothing. Some run, others jump rope, enjoying their free time outdoors. Students and teachers gather for the first class at Moscow State University after the end of the conflict. The room is full, with attentive students and an atmosphere of renewal. Mott Street in New York City's Chinatown appears covered in snow after a heavy blizzard. Cars, signs, and sidewalks are almost hidden as residents walk among the white drifts. Antique cars and a few pedestrians occupy the wide Sunset Boulevard in Beverly Hills. The low, spaced-out buildings are surrounded by palm trees and street lamps. A family poses in front of their summer home on the outskirts of Stockholm, surrounded by greenery and simple outdoor furniture. Wearing formal clothes, they display pride and serenity in the natural setting. A group of Navajo people gathers inside Canyon de Chelly in Arizona, surrounded by immense rock walls. They wear traditional clothing and stand near horses and everyday items. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please use the Super Thanks tool below. Your contribution helps us keep bringing you amazing historical content. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.